Hi guys, in this session we'll be dealing about immunoglobulins. Okay, what is immunoglobulin? Immunoglobulin or antibody is a specialized glycoprotein produced from activated B cells or plasma cells in response to an antigen. And this antibody or immunoglobulin is capable of combining with the antigen that triggered its production. This is the definition, and they constitute about 20 to 25 percentage of total serum proteins. And there are five classes of immunoglobulins: immunoglobulin G, A, M, D, and E. Moving on to the structure of immunoglobulin, each immunoglobulin or antibody molecule is Y-shaped heterodimer, and it's consisting of four polypeptide chains, two identical light chains and two identical heavy chains. These light chains and heavy chains are combined through disulfide bridges, and each chain has an amino terminal end and a carboxyl end. Let's see this picture. This is the light chain and this is the heavy chain, and each chain has amino terminal end and a carboxy terminal end, and each light chain and heavy chain are connected through disulfide bridges. Also, each heavy chain and light chain has two regions, a variable region and a constant region. Okay, this is dark blue color is the variable region. For the light chain, the first 108 amino acids represents the variable region, and for a heavy chain, first 118 amino acids represent the variable region, and this part forms the antigen binding site for the antibody. Okay, that's all about the structure of antibody. Next, moving on, there are five classes of heavy chains and two classes of light chains. This different class of heavy chains are different both structurally and antigenically. So the heavy immunoglobulins, depending on the heavy chain makeup, they are divided into five classes. Let's see the class and the heavy chain type present in them. Immunoglobulin G has gamma type of heavy chain. A has alpha type. Immunoglobulin M has mu. Immunoglobulin D has delta heavy chain, and immunoglobulin E has epsilon type. Okay, moving on to light chains. They are either made up of kappa or lambda. Okay, already have discussed about this variable and constant regions in the picture. Okay, you have to remember the structure very carefully. Moving on to each different class of immunoglobulins. Out of them, the first one is immunoglobulin G, and it is the most abundant immunoglobulin present in our body, and it is about 70 to 75 to 80% of total immunoglobulins. It has two light and two heavy chains, and the heavy chain is of gamma type. Okay, it is the antibody of secondary immune response. During secondary immune response, the antibody level to rise in our body is IgG. And a very important specific point about this is it is the only antibody that can cross the placenta, and it protects the newborn from infections. Okay, remember, only antibody to cross the placenta. Next, this is the structure. It is having two heavy chains and two light chains. Okay. Next is the immunoglobulin M. They are also called macroglobulins, and it is a pentameric structure. That is, five immunoglobulin molecules or five immunoglobulin monomers are joined with each other to form a pentameric structure, and they are joined with each other with the help of J chain. This J chain joins the five monomeric units. And as we discussed, immunoglobulin G is the antibody of secondary immune response. Immunoglobulin M is the antibody of primary immune response. During initial infection with an infection, the antibody to rise in our body is immunoglobulin M. And this immunoglobulin M cannot cross the placenta, and it also doesn't come out of vascular compartment. Also remember, the first antibody to be synthesized in the fetus is immunoglobulin M. So it is also called natural antibody. Okay, this is the structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 immunoglobulin monomers are joined with the help of J chain. See, this red one is the J chain. It joins 5 immunoglobulin M monomeric units. Okay, this is the structure. The structure is frequently asked in the exam. Third is the immunoglobulin A. It is the second most abundant class. It constitutes about 10 to 15 percentage, and it exists in two forms: serum immunoglobulin A and secretory immunoglobulin A. The difference is serum form exists in monomeric form while secretory form is dimeric. Okay. Again, this secretory form as it exists in dimers, two monomeric units are joined by J chain. Okay, as I said, it is in secretions. It is rich in milk, saliva, tears, intestinal secretions, respiratory secretions, etc. Okay. See, also, this as it is present in secretions, this immunoglobulin A has to be prevented from the proteolytic damage. So, a secretory piece is present in this secretory immunoglobulin A, which protects them from proteolytic enzyme. This green one is the secretory piece. Okay, they are produced in the liver and joins this immunoglobulin A molecule in the intestinal secretions. Similarly, this is the J chain which connects the two immunoglobulin A monomers. This red one is the J chain. Immunoglobulin A structure is also very important. They ask frequently about the secretory piece and also the structure in the exams frequently. Moving on to the immunoglobulin E, very important one because they mediate all type of hypersensitivity, allergy and anaphylaxis, and they have a special property. They have the ability to fix on mast cells and basophils because mast cell is the one which mediate hypersensitivity reactions. You'll be dealing with this in second year detailed. Remember, it is the immunoglobulin that deals with allergy, hypersensitivity and anaphylaxis. Okay, so this is the structure of the immunoglobulin. It is composed of two light and two heavy chains. Next, moving on to immunoglobulin D. It is found on membrane. It is found as a membrane immunoglobulin on surface of B cells and act as a B cell receptor along with immunoglobulin M. And no other function has been described so far about this immunoglobulin. And they are saying that immunoglobulin D has highest carbohydrate content. And similarly, it is composed of two light and two heavy chains. Remember, highest carbohydrate content is present in immunoglobulin D. Okay, see, this is the summary table, I can say. Okay, remember, the only antibody that can cross placenta is immunoglobulin G. Yes. And the main function of immunoglobulin G, A, and M are complement fixation and agglutination. Okay. And G has also function of binding to macrophages. Remember which immunoglobulin fixed to mast cells? Immunoglobulin E. And antibody of primary immune response is M. And secondary immune response is immunoglobulin G. And external secretions, immunoglobulin is A. And I said natural antibody is immunoglobulin M because it is secreted in the fetus. First antibody to be secreted in the fetus because others are secreted immunoglobulin G because it is transferred from placenta. Okay. And immunoglobulin A is also transferred from milk to fetus, from mother's milk to fetus. So first occurring one is immunoglobulin M, so they are called natural antibodies. This is also a table which gives the summary of each and everything. They give about summary about the structure, their content, and all their properties. You can refer this table if you want. Next, moving to some abnormal conditions or clinical conditions related to immunoglobulins. First one is multiple myeloma. It is a condition characterized by malignant transformation of immunoglobulin secreting cells of a single clone. That means immunoglobulins of a single type are secreted in excess. Okay, so they are characterized by anemia, paraproteinemia, lytic bone disease, and proteinuria. Why proteinuria? This excess immunoglobulin is excreted in kidney and it causes renal failure. So erythropoietin secretion is not there. Erythropoietin is secreted from kidney. So it causes anemia. Also, why lytic bone disease? Also, it causes pathological fracture of weight bearing bones. You have to remember in this plasma cell lesion, osteoclasts are activated. Osteoclasts, their main role is to bone resorption. So that causes fracture of bones. A very important point is depression of immune system. Why? Here, immunoglobulins are produced, but they are abnormal immunoglobulins. So they are not. So whenever abnormal immunoglobulins are produced in excess, the immunoglobulins which are needed are not produced. So it causes depression of immune system. Okay, see, this is the electrophoretic band of multiple myeloma. See, there is a narrow spike or M band seen in gamma globulins. As immunoglobulins are gamma globulins, there is this very narrow, sharp and narrow spike, the gamma globulin region, and this is called M band or myeloma band. See, this blue one is a normal, and this green one shows multiple myeloma. Okay. Next is Bence-Jones proteinuria. In this condition, the monoclonal light chains are excreted in urine. Why? light chains are only excreted because there is asynchronous production of light and heavy chains, and also there is deletion of portion of light chains so that they cannot combine with the heavy chains. So this excess light chains are excreted in urine and they can block the kidney tubules and they lead to kidney failure. Okay. Last, hypergamma-globulinemia and hypogamma-globulinemia. Hypergamma-globulinemia is increased antibody production seen in chronic conditions like leprosy, leprosy, TB, malaria, Kala Azar, etc. Next is hypogamma-globulinemia. Here, decreased absence of immunoglobulin. It is seen in some congenital conditions, nephrotic syndrome where excreted proteins are excreted, myeloma, and leukemia. Okay, that's all about the clinical conditions. Some important questions for your exam. First, they may ask structure of immunoglobulin separately or structure of immunoglobulin as a whole they can ask. An electrophoretic pattern in multiple myeloma is very important. You have to draw the normal and also the abnormal one and show the difference between them. As I said, structure of immunoglobulin M and A are very important, and they may ask you Benz-Jones proteinuria. Okay, that's all. That's all in this class. Thank you. Hope all of you understood the session. Thank you.